Welcome back to another episode of Scryer's Room. I am your host, Fanfare.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mario.
And if you like this content, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe at Fanfare at YouTube. You can also give us a follow on X and Blue Sky. And if you have any ideas for an episode, go ahead and tweet them to @thesmuggrape. Today's episode, we're going to start off with a new segment, a bit Kevin had in mind.
Oh, yeah. So, I have a lot of fun facts. And, preface, the difference between a wizard and a scholar. We've already done the actual reason, like, a wizard deals in wisdom the way a drunkard deals in drink. Classic stuff. A scholar knows things that are good and useful for a purpose. A wizard just knows things.
Yeah,
it's a very important difference.
I buy that, yeah.
So I know a lot of things that are not very good or useful for a purpose, so scholars write out. Also, I left school, so definitely. But I was thinking, I'm also really good at lying. Spectacular at it so long as I don't know you, really. If I know you, I can...
You're fine.
All right. Just had a bit of a light flicker here. If I know you, my ability to lie plummets tremendously because generally when I know people, I either love them or hate them. And when I love them, there's no reason for me to lie to them. I don't have to. That's my big thing that I say. I don't have to lie to you. You'll like me no matter what I say to you. I'm very likable, and I already love you guys.
Oh, bae.
And if I don't like you, then I certainly don't want to enrich your life with my glorious creativity of lies.
That's an interesting way to view the world.
So I have to not know you to lie. So I'm going to lie to all of you guys. With the segment I call, I Buy That. Hey, Tony.
Hey.
Did you know that bologna is actually just chicken?
Oh.
Yeah, and bologna is the name of the process to make a log of bologna.
That's a bunch of baloney.
Only one part of it is.
Boo. Boo.
That was both a great joke and a true fact. Bologna is generally chicken.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought it was.
I mean, I see the Invader Zim people.
Yeah.
When they get slowly turned into bologna by Zim's nanotechnology, I imagined that we were farming those.
I quite enjoyed the space meat bit, how they have like this
space meat.
They have this ultra intricate way to make this super futuristic space meat. And then at the end of the explanation, they say, but that process is way too expensive, so we make ours out of garbage.
Shonen Vasquez is the best.
Dude, he fucking hates people so much.
He hates it so much.
He hates people.
He looks at a crowd and feels a disgust in his soul that I can only imagine that I've only grasped the base of. There's no way I feel the full extent of it.
He don't like us. You don't like us very much at all.
No, but, he's made some great things for us, so we all like him.
And yeah, Invader Zim, Nickelodeon definitely, banked out on greenlighting that guy. Goth emo chicks have been eating up GERS since day one.
It was patently an insane move for them to be like, let's do Invader Zim.
Yeah, no,
No, they used to be, I don't know. Even, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon used to just let people do stuff, probably unintentionally. Because they also did Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah.
Which is also really fucking weird. And,
doesn't he work in a sex phone hotline?
Yeah.
Briefly, yeah.
And then it slips under the radar, just, the shit they got to do. Or, Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy, that man is crazy.
Ren and Stimpy, that guy is fully, the level of psychosis that John K. possesses is only matched by the level of absolute snobbery he possesses, because he is...
Yeah, to my understanding, he's an elitist with cartoons.
Yeah.
And if you don't have, a wang jangly, rubbery, springy vibe to your cartoons, you're actually drawing garbage.
Yeah, his opinion is, if you want to stay on model, might as well hire actors.
Okay. Whatever. Sure. Yeah. Cartoon Network, too, though.
I mean, Billy and Mandy.
I was going to say Cow and Chicken.
Cow and Chicken was morbid.
Cow and Chicken was a fucking fever dream.
Who had a character who appeared almost every episode, which was the devil who walked on his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such an absolute. If you watch those old shows, Cow and Chicken just really fucking got me, because like you go outside in the Cow and Chicken world and you look up. There's the sun. There's clouds. There's a hawk of ham just up there.
Yeah.
Some of the scenes, the backgrounds, they fully just like.
Yeah.
They go wild with it.
And then they shrug, then they go and open a can of sugared weenies.
Yeah.
I remember that their parents were just the bottom halves of people.
Yeah,
just
that
legs.
was when I saw that the first time, that fucked with me. I was, however old Tony was back then, he wasn't ready for that.
There was an episode where they bring the equivalent of their G.I. Joe to life, and he's a big buff soldier man whose arms are giant hot dogs.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, why not?
And then he is like, you guys are going to boot camp. I'm going to teach you how to be weenie arm men. And they're into it. They're like, yes, this is what we've always dreamed of. Take us into your hot doggy arms. And they proceeded to walk on their asses because I guess not just the devil, also I don't even know if it's correct to call him the U.S. military hot dog man. He's just... The military wouldn't accept a man with arms of hot dog. He didn't have fingers.
What do they mean by this? Yeah, what a weird one.
Then there's his cousin who just has no bones.
I don't remember this.
What?
Yeah,
Whose cousin?
Chicken's cousin he's just a chicken, but he doesn't have any bones, so he just is like limp and on the floor.
Just a puddle of chicken?
Yeah.
Turn that into some quality bologna.
And then there's the show within the show.
I Am Weasel.
I Am Weasel.
I Am Weasel was a trip.
Tony's wearing it right now.
Yeah,
I am.
And then occasionally IR Baboon.
IR Baboon. I Am Weasel. I got on my shirt.
Am Weasel. Yeah. Weasel was always the chattest animal on TV. Easily.
And Baboon was just a baboon.
Baboon was an absolute baboon.
Straight baboonery.
Yeah. God damn, dude. Courage the Cowardly Dog was a mindfuck. Everyone says, like, oh, it was so crazy, it was scary, or any of the things. The one thing that they're all forgetting about Courage the Cowardly Dog is that he had a sentient AI computer in his house that apparently already took over the world, because every computer talks like that and knows about each other. And like he goes from one computer in his house to they're in the city in one episode. He goes on the computer there, and it's the same computer. And it's like, yeah, I know what's going on. I saw you get abandoned by your family because they were kidnapped.
Fred was a problem. Didn't the Fred episode get banned or something? Did I remember this correctly?
The
barber. The barber. Like that shit gave me nightmares.
It should have been.
If it wasn't, it should have been. That's where I kind of draw the line.
Do you remember Katz's theme song?
Oh,
the
evil
evil cat?
Fucking hip, yeah.
Oh my god.
Because he was supposed to be the super BBEG.
In terms of like BBEG songs that like actually like the leitmotif that actually like affects me physically, we have two.
Oh yeah?
And that is Cats from Courage the Cowardly Dog and Cell.
I don't even remember Cells.
Oh, the Cell theme is classic.
Oh man.
Specifically, this is the Bruce Falconer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because the Japanese run has an entirely different sound.
Yeah, it's like all trumpets and shit. It's super retro, like the 80s.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about the Dragon Ball Z that we got in America, where the background noise was da-na-na, da-na-da-na-na, for no reason. It didn't need to be that crazy for Krillin to be hiding behind a rock.
I love the metal, bro. They fucking nailed it.
Oh yeah.
They knew what 90s kids were about. We like a guitar riffs. We like our edgy metal fucking extreme. Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, oh man, what's going on in the Japanese version? I want to see what goes on like ahead of time. And you start it up and it goes cha-la, hey cha-la.
Fuck. I mean, it's a banger. It's a banger.
Yeah. I've been talking about Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball a lot lately, just because I watched Dragon Ball Abridged as like
fantastic.
For the first time, really, and spectacular. So I'm going to be pretty fucking annoying about that, probably for the rest of my life.
Which, speaking of the Cell thing, one of my favorite bits they do is when he's about to absorb 18 as he's walking toward it, he's humming it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
it's a really nice touch. Yeah, he's humming his own fucking theme song.
That is a pretty good bit.
It's like super menacing too, because he's about to eat her.
Yeah, and there was nothing that could be done.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good bit. Kevin's dying.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Or is he
Okay.
lying? Because that's what you were supposed to be doing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the bit.
Yeah, we got derailed talking about cartoons.
Yeah.
Because
I'll come up with something else. I'll lie to you guys later again.
All right,
Let's
good.
just follow the ADHD train.
Yeah, let's keep going on. And our next order of docket, that's not how words
Oh.
work. Huh?
We have another thing that we were supposed to be talking about.
Oh, yeah? Let's hear it.
The Megalopolis.
I was going to save that for Rob.
Let's do it for next time.
Yeah. Sorry, audience. So that you know, we watched...
We made the choice, not necessarily mistake, but choice to watch Coppola's Megalopolis. I think A Fable is its subtitle for some reason.
And a preview as to what we will discuss. The worst movie I've ever seen.
An incredible piece of art.
powerful words.
The worst movie
Oh,
I've
yeah.
ever seen. Because, like...
Does it
We've
surpasses the Breenius?
So
It's-
it is a Neil Breen movie.
It's
It is.
yeah. If Neil Breen had all
man.
of the money in the world, Megalopolis would come out.
Yes,
Christ.
it is a Neil Breen movie, and it did about as much damage to me as The Fanatic, which we will also talk about on a later episode. Those two movies, Megalopolis and The Fanatic, if you want to like cripple me, if you want to lay me low,
Yeah.
force me to watch those movies, I will be a wounded person afterwards.
You can
Moose
force
is
his
in the house.
brain into a survival state temporarily.
Yeah, like I kept looking at Rob and he would just cackle looking at my face.
Yeah.
Because I was just like the choice. We'll say another episode.
We might
Preview.
need to watch it again because, frankly, it's already had the effect that it had on me the first time I watched it, which is I can't fucking remember what happened in that movie.
Dude, because it didn't give itself any time to breathe.
Yeah.
It was just like plot hook after plot hook that doesn't, and so many of them were red herrings / just didn't matter. It was just the cool thing he thought should happen.
Yeah.
And then it never came up again.
Yeah.
It was a Breen movie, Mario.
Like the tiger.
It was like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was like,
Oh, man.
not even just the Breen, The Room. Tommy Wiseau, The Room.
Oh, yeah.
How they just keep bringing up these plot hooks that never get expanded upon, or like, just they don't need to exist. They don't add to the movie.
But
if anything, they take away because it's confusing.
This is a Neil Breen / Tommy Wiseau film that, for some ungodly reason, all of the most talented actors are just doing. So they're doing what must be the best job because, like, they did like 200 takes of every scene because Coppola's a madman.
And some of them, when you put the context of that in there, we'll save it. We're gonna save it for another episode.
Yeah,
save
we're
it for
saving
another
it. We're
episode.
saving it.
This is like I know he's whiffed super hard in the past. Like so, like this is like just his follow up to his version of Dracula.
I don't know about the Dracula thing.
No, don't know about that.
Let's talk about Dracula.
It's really bad.
Hit me with it.
Well, so he does his own like version, which tries to actually be pretty faithful to the original Bram Stoker novel. But he adds a bunch of his own shit that tries to make like Dracula sympathetic. But famously, Keanu Reeves is playing an Englishman.
Oh, he did Bram Stoker's Dracula with
Yeah.
Oh no.
Can you see the picture? Oh, like the IMDb or whatever? I think I might recognize it by the cover.
And
This one.
Tony, about how well do you think
Keanu
Reeves can do a British accent?
Not good at all.
Yeah,
Keanu
that's
Reeves can
correct.
barely do a Keanu Reeves accent at
So
times.
it's so
That was very
unbelievable
rude.
just
I really
watching
like
him.
Keanu.
Oh, no, he's great. I love Keanu Reeves, but bro can't
He can't do accents.
do accents.
Correct.
Like, so you're just
That's not what he's for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really funny in John Wick when he like speaks different languages because he's international assassin man and he's just like Roche Bean Das Boof. And someone else speaks completely perfect fluent and like the subtitles will be like, Keanu, you're doing so good at this. You're the best at speaking Russian right now. And he's like, duh.
yeah, that's pretty much like that. And then God, what's that actor's name? He played Commissioner Gordon.
He's the best Commissioner Gordon. It's on the tip of my. This is also a great actor, Gary Oldman.
I don't remember, but
I believe it's
as Dracula, he actually knocks it out of the fucking park. He is acting circles around everyone else in that movie, but
yeah, Gary Oldman.
It's a very not good movie.
Yeah,
I remember seeing like clips and thinking this is fucking creepy looking.
There's some cool shit they do in it, like
Dracula has crazy plastic
effects
armor
and stuff. Like, but beyond that, like,
Let me
Like,
pull up the crazy suit of plastic armor that he wears.
There's even like during the commentary they bring up they did like a where Keanu Reeves like looks into the mirror and then like his reflection like does a thing, like and it's clearly just like they cut out the wall or whatever. And then during the commentary of the movie, Coppola's watching it. He's like, "Yeah, I don't remember how he did that one." And he just fully forgot how they did that practical effect.
I'm sure that's a great sign for your director and the quality of the film. That's
it's a
being
cool
produced.
effect though. Like, there's sprinkled throughout that movie is a bunch of that. But
Yeah.
bit of a segue. All of that was just to say that Coppola fucks up.
Yeah,
He's not like
he made the Godfather movies, and frankly, we might have already extracted all of the talent from him in the horrible machine that is Hollywood.
See, now when you say he made them, did he direct? He didn't write them. He directed them, right?
I believe. Let's find out.
Sure.
I have
But
Google.
I just wanted to say, everyone always says second Godfather's best one. You're wrong. It's the first one.
I have not watched those as an adult. I only remember bits and pieces when I watched it before I was fully online. So
Everyone always says the
can't
second
comment.
one is better. I disagree. The first one is a more complete story. You could have just ended it there, and it would have been still a fucking masterwork. It's great.
good to know. I heard the third one's a disappointment.
I have not watched it.
Oh wow.
But yeah, apparently it's
Coppola,
unnecessary.
at the very least, has a secondary credit on the screenplay. However, it's based off The Godfather, a book by Mario Puzo, and the primary screenplay writer is the same.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, he was just an assist trophy. He wasn't
Yeah,
like.
and frankly, that's where directors belong.
I agree.
This is supposed to be a collaboration of like dozens of artists working together. That's why like actors are supposed to have a say and directors have a say and all these people have a creative say in what should like where they believe that the art should go. That's what makes movies so incredible and sort of ephemeral that it's like how did they think to do that? Well, they had like so many people working on this, so many good ideas, and they were able to cut off the bad ones.
Which all the proof you need, Joker 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Because that guy had total control, and should not have.
And another one, Rebel Moon. I forget what that guy's name is.
Snyder.
Snyder.
Yeah. Like my man, you can't wear all the hats. You like I don't want to say stay in your lane because that's what
I will. I will say stay
damn.
in your lane, Zack Snyder. Every time that you step out of the director's chair into the writer's chair, you forget how movies work.
See his new shit?
No.
There's he made a Norse mythology cartoon on Netflix.
Oh.
It's fine. I've watched most of it. It's okay.
All right.
Basically, Thor's just an insane evil man, and he just murders a bunch of people. And then the protagonist is that she's like descended from giants, and then he killed her whole family. And now she's gonna get him.
Right. He wanted to make Loki, just like he wanted to make Star Wars briefly.
Oh yeah, Loki's like integral to the story.
Right. He wanted to make the Disney show Loki.
Okay. Yeah.
He wanted to do that, just like he got the wild hair up his ass that he wanted to do the Mandalorian with Rebel Moon. And unfortunately, he watched those things, I'm sure, and absorbed very little of what made them good so much as what made them fun.
The Mandalorian was an excellent series because it understood it was supposed to be a space western.
Yeah.
And it ran with it. Also, Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of people that are just like, oh, Baby Yoda, I'm sold. Like, that, it can't be counted. Like,
there's a marketing term called toyetic, which is that a thing can be toyetic because you can make a toy out of it. And in terms of toyetic characters, Baby Yoda was a slam dunk.
Yeah, that's...
Everyone knows Yoda, everyone
toy.
likes babies, and it physically on set is a toy, exactly.
Yeah, Marketable plushie. There's a meme that goes around on the V-tier community.
Please,
can I interest you in
please don't turn me into a marketable plushie.
Yeah, exactly. Can I interest you in a marketable plushie? Yeah.
With some strategy?
No strategy. No strategy in the marketable plushie.
Okay.
Oh man, there's a new term. Instead of looting, it's strategizing.
Empty head, no thoughts. Keep them pure.
Yeah, don't strategize, Baby Yoda.
Do not,
dude.
Never, never. That's a sweet cinnamon bun. You keep that away. You keep them far away from the strategists.
I'm pretty sure he's
like how everyone still just calls him Baby Yoda. Even
yeah, he has a name.
He has
a Christian name, and we don't respect it at all.
Not even kind of. He's always going to be Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Christian name Grogu. Yeah.
I really like that as a term. I don't agree with like the concept of it, but just using Christian name is a lot of fun.
His name under God, bro. He's baptized. It's fun.
Into the Mandalorian religion.
Don't take your fucking helmet off.
So, a thing that I really like in story... So I'm just going to segue forcibly. A thing I really like in stories that... especially stories that have characters that like have like no face, is the I hate the idea of like, oh, a character has to look this way in every interpretation as an effect on the actors. A character looking the same way in each interpretation so that you understand that's the same character makes sense. But like, I've always had like a sort of a pet peeve with people like, you, like the obvious one is you can't make the Little Mermaid black. And the obvious question is, why? Do you not know any black mermaids? Like, it's obviously they can be whatever. It doesn't matter. My favorite things about characters that like they have no face in this regard is that argument cannot occur. That's how much that argument fucking annoys the shit out of me, that where people are like, the race of this character is really important, even though race has nothing to do with their story. I believe in trimming fat a lot in like writing. So if the character's race plays zero part of their characterization or story, it doesn't matter what color they are. Now, if you're making like a modern series in like America, your character's race is gonna matter. That's the real world. But let's say you're living in a magical faraway land where they're talking crabs from the Caribbean and there's a surplus of boats because they crashed 2 of them over the course of this movie. And there are mermaids and octopus women and crazy eels that like do the Snidely Whiplash dog laugh. Like, I don't know why they do that, but they do underwater impossibly, and I love them.
Yeah,
Flotsam and Jetsam, #1.
Excellent, boys.
Those characters' races don't matter. I'm pretty sure like half of the cast are just like whoever showed up. Like it's not like they sat down and they're like, Prince Eric really needs to be this kind. No, they didn't consider it for a moment, because why the fuck would they? Prince Eric isn't based off of a real Prince Eric of Norway or some shit.
They didn't have notes saying sexy Latina pilot.
They didn't. Pokemon, they might actually.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Think about it, it's Disney.
I was about to say, like, Pokemon is worse than Disney, and then I immediately thought, no, they fucking aren't. They both definitely have porn vaults.
Yeah.
That's how you protect your IP.
Yeah, I gotta be swift and merciless with that. So another thing about the Mandalorian I quite enjoy, and this is actually going to be a burn to the Halo series that came out. So
I hated it.
Did you watch it?
I didn't like watching. I don't have any particular connection to the Halo series. The reasons that I have for not liking it are not the same as Tony's. Tony, go on.
So I was not a Halo boy. I was a PS person. I was always a PS fan.
I, in fact, was a Halo boy.
Which is fine. I don't hate Halo. I just was never into shooters, and I never had an Xbox, so I never got into it.
I thought you were going to do the whole, like, oh, you can be a Halo fan, just, don't be all in my face about it. Like,
But my lip curled when I heard that they show the Chief's face.
Yeah.
And not only do they show the Chief's face, but frequently and often. And
almost exclusively.
And the demographic that was resonating with people who did like Halo, were people like my folks. My mom and dad like that show. They like sci-fi.
Yeah.
They don't know the games.
Right.
So this is literally catered to them.
They just remember a commercial from 10 years
and
ago.
they thought it was cool. And I tried to explain to her that.
Every time you tell me that your mom or your parents in general just like a show that fills me with rage. It's like,
this is like number 5 now.
This is who they're targeting. Like, fuck.
Yeah,
Power,
not you. It's not
Halo.
about you, Mario. It's about my mom and dad. They're the ones paying the cable.
They're the ones with money.
Yeah, they're the ones buying the cable. I don't buy cable. I don't even watch cable. So I was trying to explain that, like, I understand, because she was explaining, well, you have to see the character's face, otherwise how can you relate to him? You have to be able to express emotion and yada, yada, yada. Which, I've heard this before. I heard Ricky's brother say this, Eric. I don't like... We were watching some weird, like, B sci-fi movie, and they all wore helmets. And he's like, why do they have helmets on still? Like, you can't even see any emotion, you can't see an expression. And I thought, like, well, that shouldn't really matter if the dialogue is cutting enough, and if they use kinesics and move their body properly and gesture properly, you don't really need to see their face. And
angles, like, of just like how scenes are shot, tells you the story of, like, how these characters are feeling to begin with, without, like, just a close-up of the face.
Yeah, precisely. And so, my mom brings it up, and I retort, I understand why you would think that, and why you would say that, and I don't disagree. However, you do not understand the trope of the faceless hero.
Yeah.
That is literally, this is such an important trope that, I'm not going to say the Chief coined it. I don't know when. It's older than him. It's older than the Chief. But the Chief popularized it amongst my generation. The idea that, like, there was a joke that the Master Chief was black. That was part of the joke, is that, like, we'll never actually know he's the faceless hero.
Yeah.
Like, we're never
Halo.
supposed to know who he is or what he does because he's just that unsung badass hero. He doesn't do it for glory. He doesn't do it for himself. He doesn't do it for his own stupid ego. He does it because he is the hero and there's a job that needs to get done and he's the motherfucker to do it.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a name.
Just like the Doom guy.
He has a title.
Just like Doom guy. Just like Goblin Slayer.
He also does it because he was a child soldier.
I mean, well, yeah, but in the fucking, I'm saying, like, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but, like, because, another one is Goblin Slayer. Yeah, right? Like, that's another, the faceless hero. It's not about glory. It's not about who he is. He represents an idea.
Yeah.
And, like, say what you will about the actual show. Like, Goblin Slayer is overrated for sure, but, like, I still love the faceless hero.
Yeah.
And The Mandalorian is the only show I can think of that can betray that trope, but still pull it off, because every time the Mandalorian takes off his helmet, it is a big fucking deal.
Yes.
And the way they shoot the scene even changes.
Exactly.
Like, they make a real meal out of being like, this is not okay right now. This man is breaking the sacrament, and you should be at the edge of your seat trying to figure out how this plays out. Also, the second time he does it features Bill Burr, and Bill Burr fucking crushes that role. I loved Bill Burr in The Mandalorian. He fucking nailed it, dude.
For a while,
so weird that he just comes out of left field.
For a while on the
I wasn't ready
on like his official like character page. It had his name and then like where you're from, like planet that they're supposed to be from, and the planet he was from was Space Boston.
I love that. Good. See, God. That's beautiful. That makes me so happy. Like, they get it. That's exactly what I wanted them to say.
But that really, that comes down to setup and payoff are, like, some of the most important things when you're dealing with, like, emotions and, like, when you want your audience to feel something. I was talking about this before we started recording, I think, where if your series starts with like a not only a thesis but an obtainable thesis that your characters all know about and are striving towards, therefore the payoff must be that thesis is resolved. The characters don't have to make it. Naruto doesn't have to become the Hokage.
I was literally going to say, I'm going to become Hokage.
Naruto doesn't have to become the Hokage, but someone does, and it needs to matter. Otherwise, what you just did was you put a setup over here, and there was no payoff, so at the end of your story, your audience is going to be like, what the fuck? They're not going to have questions.
You wrote a lie.
They're not going to have questions. They're going to have, like, demands.
Yeah, no, they're going to feel unsatisfied. Also, going to setup and payoff, so I agree with everything you say completely.
Yeah.
And that's where the Halo show fucks up. Is apparently in the first episode, like, you know, they introduce random chick that he asked the morality pet, which, by the way, why did you introduce that character? That character took the role of I don't even remember the Halo story. I never actually fucking played the games, but I watched you play the games. And if I recall correctly, they basically just cucked Cortana out of her role. Like, Cortana is supposed to be the thing you're protecting. It's like, oh, this is the AI that's going to be the humanity's future, so you have to, Chief, take it. And anyway, point being, there's some random chick that's like, I don't trust you, they're trying to kill me. And he's like, you can trust me, I'm a person too. And he takes off his helmet to show, like, to be a humanizing moment between these two characters. Yeah. And to show that, like, look, I'm really have your best interest in mind. And that, like, bridges the gap between the Chief.
Yeah.
And, because until then, he's a faceless super soldier. Yeah. Like, a soulless fucking, which is, like, what he's supposed to be. That's the faceless hero. And then they betray that for just a moment to build trust. And then they keep doing it. Yeah. Like, so the idea of, like, oh, this is a big deal that he's doing this for the fans, we're all like, oh, shit, that's a big fucking deal.
They tear that away.
And then I remember sitting, like, just walking in on, like, my mom watching it, and he's, like, sitting in, like, a lab with all of his stuff off. And it's like, this isn't the Chief.
Can I tell you?
What are you doing?
Can I tell you the thing that made me actually, like, be like, oh, no, not only is this, like, a thing I don't like, this is a thing that I anti-like. I hate. The moment that I decided I hate this was Master Chief fights like 2 times in the first season, and he doesn't do super great. He's good. He's a super soldier, but he's not like Master Chief mowing down everybody and doing all the shit that you would expect him to do because, you know, that's why he's the Master Chief.
Does he even BXR?
So, at the very end, Master Chief loses consciousness and the AI takes over his suit, and then it goes into what Master Chief actually does, where he's like the one-man army, and he's actually like this incredible warrior. No. The AI in the armor is. Master Chief's just a guy. Not even a very good one. He's good, but he's hardly Master Chief.
I hate.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, they approved 2 seasons because they were so cocky about the first one. They're like, they're definitely going to love this shit. Let's green that number 2. No, you betrayed. So, you went for a demographic and you got them, but in the process pissed off the people you should have been pandering to, and they told all their friends who then listened. And that is why no one cares about Halo. That's my take from that.
And then they chose to do the opposite of the Bill Burr and Mandalorian thing, where they were like, let's get our own sort of older comedian. We got Dave Chappelle.
So weird.
And what what Dave Chappelle decided to do with this part, okay, this is an important actor choice.
Dave, I didn't know you liked to go in space.
An important actor choice is he decided to not be funny for a second.
Huh.
Dead serious the entire time. I'm the only serious dramatic actor in the Halo series.
And he's an escaped fucking Spartan.
Yeah.
Huh.
Who Master Chief let go.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
They made a lot of choices with this, right?
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know how.
He also looks nothing like the young actor they got, like, to play the flashback him.
They might as well have gotten the bad guy from Black Panther, that guy, Michael B. Jordan. I love that guy. They might as well have gotten him to play young, and then just Dave Chappelle plays old. Like, 2 of the most different looking people.
Yeah.
That must be such a bummer when you're really trying to, like, be a serious Sandy for once, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe not for once, I don't know.
And the only thing you have in connection with the actor playing your younger self is that you're both pretty close to the same shade of black.
Well, I more mean that, like, okay, he's like, oh, Halo's gonna be big. This is gonna be my way to show that I can be a serious actor too. Everyone hated that.
Yeah.
Like, not even like his role, just the show.
Most people don't even remember that he was in it.
I didn't notice he was in it. I probably didn't see any scenes with him. Is probably why. But I don't know. I watched like the first episode with my mom. Not even all of it. I just didn't give a shit. Like,
I was sitting there with my dad while he was watching it, and I was like, "Is that Dave Chappelle?" No. And both of us were like,
"What, Dave?
That can't be Dave Chappelle." Dave Chappelle would be riffing or something. We saw him in all the other movies. Dave's great. He's a
treat.
He's technically a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
If he's choosing to be funny about it, especially. And then I looked it up. I'm like, that's Dave Chappelle. And they're just sitting there on a rock, just Master Chief and Dave Chappelle. And I'm under no illusions that this is anyone but Dave Chappelle. I don't know if that's like I don't mean to say like, oh, that's how bad he was at acting. But once you see Dave Chappelle in something, it's Dave Chappelle.
I mean, he's so iconic to our generation, man. Like,
yeah.
The Chappelle Show brought middle school kids together like nothing I'd seen before. People quoted that. I still think that Player Haters Ball is the skit of our generation.
It's fantastic.
Like, that shit, it holds up today. Like, we quote it all the time on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I hate on a man until he's broke and ain't got nothing, just like me.
Why you got 2 cars? I only got 1 car. That's played out.
Yeah, that's played out. Why you got a wife? Wait, it's played out. Hate's an art form, man. Like, you use a born hater. Like, dude, it's so fucking good. And then, Pitbull, you corny! The next motherfucker who says something's gonna get shot. You best believe that. Dude, so good. So fucking good.
If you'll excuse me, I have to get home to refill Buck Nasty's mama's dish.
Dude, classic.
We can probably
bits.
fill up the rest of this hour with just quoting Dave Chappelle.
Dude, so many
that's
classic
how, like,
bits.
I don't mean to say that we should do that. I'm saying that's how deeply this affected dudes of our generation, especially.
And a lot of people, like, you know, I'm kind of a big deal. I have a media production and criticism degree that I don't use. But one of the things that really helped put media into perspective, as far as, like, the FCC regulations lining up on, like, what you can and can't do on air, that coincided directly with the Chappelle Show. Comedy Central really started to chum the waters and be like, what are we allowed to get away with, / if we make enough money, can we just pay the fines? And they ended up doing that a lot with Chappelle Show and South Park. Chappelle Show even has a bit about it where they talk about, like, I think he brings up one of his stand-ups, and there might even be a skit about it where, like, they can drop the N-bomb because they're black, but they can't say the F-slur because they're not homosexual. And he's like, well, how does that make sense? And, like, well, because you're not gay. And he's like, well, I'm not a beep either. So it's like, oh, yikes. Like, that is it is a weird
standard.
Standard to set. But those were the times we grew up in. Like, they were really trying to flesh out, like, expression and free speech. And, like, because before then...
South Park did the same bit, too.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Garrison.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, I can say it because I'm gay. He's like, see, you just got beat.
And they had everybody in the bar saying it, and then Jimbo didn't get beeped, and so
like, well, Jimbo.
I forgot about that. Yeah, dude. Exactly. So that coincided when the FCC regulations started lightening up, and specifically 10 p.m. was the cutoff point. Basically, the middle ground they came with is that, like, by 10 p.m., if your kids aren't in bed, that's not our problem. Like, any reasonable... responsible adult, your children should not be watching TV.
If your kids are still up, they don't need us to learn these words from.
Yeah, exactly. They're already doing some degen behavior. It's already, that ship has sailed. You're fooling no one.
They're over there watching Adult Swim on Cartoon Network.
Yup.
Inuyasha's fucking theme comes on, and it's loud as fuck.
Dude, the ending credit with Shishomura, the second one that came on, I think it's like in the deep forest or something like that. Dude, that shit's a banger, bro. I remember there's been multiple times this situation happens where I'm, like, nerding out with someone on World of Warcraft or various MMO, and they've been drinking, and we talk about our anime tastes, and I bring up, like, Inuyasha for some reason, because that was one of my firsts.
Right.
And then the drunk person just starts singing that theme song poorly, like, just making up the gibberish, but it's the same tone. This has happened 5 times to me. 5 different people. The exact same circumstance. And that's how you know that shit was a banger, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
you could probably stun me if you, like, play it, like, exactly at the right moment. Like, I'm between actions, and you catch me at exactly the moment you start playing it, and then I'd be stunned like a cat that got, like, just hit with the laser pointer wrong, and its eyes just go all wide, and it can't move yet because the adrenaline is coursing through its little cat body.
Hell yeah. No, yeah, that was a very formative song. Very formative anime. I recently, well, I guess not recently, it's been a few years, I watched Inuyasha as an adult to prepare for Yashahime.
Yep,
because
sequel
they
series.
made the sequel series that was terrible.
Because Boruto's were all the rage.
Well, yeah, they basically saw like, oh, so Naruto just decided not to end. So what if we did that too? And like, I was so on board for it. I think we talked about this in a previous podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely did. But I was so on board for it, and it just, there was very little setup and payoff. Like the writing wasn't there. The writing wasn't there. I couldn't be about it.
Do you think the success of Boruto and like Yashahime actually was sort of successful? So it's still going.
It is?
The manga certainly is.
Oh wow, okay.
But like the success of those things, do you think if we were able to ask Toriyama like, hey, so do you wish that you had been able to actually do your dream of Goku dies and now it's back to hijinks and it's just Gohan's the main character now? Because that's what he wanted. He wanted Goku dead, and then we stop doing karate tournaments every year. We go back to like, oh, there's hijinks and aliens and stuff. And the world told him no, and he had to make more karate tournaments.
Yeah, he really did.
He's still stuck in a little bit though.
Yeah.
Like with Jacko.
I mean,
the
frankly...
Galactic Space Patrolman.
Frankly,
who has his own series.
If you go to like the Buu saga in Dragon Ball Z, so much of it is like serious, okay, we need to worry about this big piece of shit eating everybody. But then like the end of it is everyone in the world was murdered.
Yeah.
And then it's just Goku and Vegeta and a pro wrestler and a little green boy on this planet. And they have to fight the most evil version of the creature that is capable of murdering everyone in the world and intends to murder everyone in the universe. And half of that fight is they're completely non-serious. It's just Goku and Vegeta sort of yelling at each other. And while maybe Dende is scared, but Hercule in the back is like, "What's going on?" It's just bits. They twirl Majin Buu around by his fucking head noodle, and then Majin Buu twirls Goku around by Super Saiyan 3 hair. They take turns doing bits at each other for half the fight.
I forgot about that, dude. They're almost making fun of us at that point.
Yeah, well, I mean...
He wanted to do bits. That's what this man desires.
In defense of Kid Buu, is like, he's insane. So, he's like falling asleep during the fight. And like... They're just like, you can't do that.
Yeah. We're doing karate right now.
Fucking insane.
He was a bit of a scamp.
Or then
we do a little bit of trolling.
They do have that bit where like Goku's just like, God damn, I think I underestimated him a little bit. I'm getting pretty tired. And then Boo's like has stretched himself out and he's just like wiggling his hips.
He's doing the
like,
belly dance.
Just because he's fucking insane. Like Boo does what he wants.
I feel like that was him taking his final opportunity because he was like, no, this is the last arc. I'm going to do bits. I want to do bits. I've been told no bits, focus on karate. We're doing bits. Goku bites his tentacle.
Well, he did other shit that just people don't know about. Like,
right.
He's got the Nekomajin series.
Yeah, which is...
What if Majin Buu was a cat?
Yeah.
And like, was in like Goku's gi.
Yeah.
And was kind of Goku.
What?
Nekomajin, yeah.
He also kills completely without remorse, just like both Goku and Majin Buu.
And then I think wrapped up in that series, it was also Devil Boy or something.
Almost. That sounds about right.
It's the son of Deborah. Just being a Devil Boy in Demon World.
Okay, all right.
I mean, what I don't know how to pronounce the little robot girl. Arale?
Arale.
Yeah. Like that was his first big thing he did was Dr. Slump, which was what if, instead of Inspector Gadget being an adult man who's a cop, what if Inspector Gadget was a little girl who also was God?
Oh.
She's completely unstoppable. She put the whole universe in her pocket once.
What the fuck?
Arale is it so... She's a gag character, so for bits, she just does insane.
Yeah, if it's funny, she can do it.
She... regularly, to show people how strong she is, she just punches the earth and then it cracks in half.
Yeah.
That's a good bit.
She also exists in Dragon Ball and doesn't help.
I was gonna say this. This explains why blowing up planets was like square one behavior in fucking Dragon Ball Z.
So people bring that up, and technically no.
Really?
That was a
anime only or something.
Yes, that was fuck, what do you call it?
Omake? No?
Filler episode.
Yeah.
So, technically, no. She does not exist in the Dragon Ball universe.
Well, if she did, she would have made Cell look like an absolute bitch if we're talking about bionic organisms.
Well, she has one amazing weakness. She's easily distracted by poop.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So it's a bit...
on a stick, and then she'll throw it
It's
at you.
it's a bit in Dr. Slump that there's just piles. It's the emoji style
Yeah, just little strips
of shit with like eyeballs on it too or something. Like
They have like a little smiley face on them.
yeah, and like
They have a Majin Buu face because they're also pink. They look like Majin Buu. Yeah. That was the bit. That's why Buu is a big fat ass in the beginning, because he's supposed to be an Arale piece of shit wearing a diaper and a cape. And no one will listen to me on this. They're like, no, I think he's supposed to be bubblegum. And I'm like, look at the universe around you. There is truth out there. And we can find it.
yeah, that's
Oh, he really was over it by then, huh?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
really fucking over it.
Yeah.
which Toriyama loved that man. Also, he's just complete madman.
Oh, yeah.
Like as like a creative, I don't know. He's a unique one.
His projects include what if Dungeons and Dragons was anime, and he did a great job with that one. What if Mad Max starring the devil was anime? Nailed that one too. What if Inspector Gadget was anime? Nailed it. And what if Sun Wukong was anime? All of them. Every single one. The man prints money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, briefly, what if time travel was D&D anime for video games?
Should we talk about Toyotaro for a bit? Should we?
Oh, man. A real bummer of a man.
So this is like Toyotaro represents when like someone he's talented, I guess I'll say, but it like when someone did a cool thing on the internet and then they bring you into the like official part of that cool thing you did
Yeah.
because they think that somehow you get it, like, and
Yeah.
then like you'll be able to carry on the creator's work.
They believe that creativity is like an extant element in the universe and it has connections to different things. And if we find someone else with the same connection to this creativity and give it to them, they certainly won't destroy everything.
Well, so yeah, obviously he didn't do that, right? But this is the thing that happens a lot in Japan, and I can give you an example of where it works.
Hit me with it.
Gundam.
I mean,
Because specifically, to my understanding, and I could be wrong about this, Gundam fans, go ahead and roast me if I'm incorrect, but it's to my understanding, I believe it is a woman who wrote Unicorn, and basically they had to, they went through a process to basically get, permission/guidance to do that, and then they greenlighted it, and Unicorn is probably one of my... It's not my favorite Gundam series, because I'm a fucking boomer, I like the old ones.
right.
But of the modern animation Gundam, Unicorn is fucking phenomenal.
It's pretty great.
It's based off of a book, and that book was them passing the torch of this is Universal Century.
So
this is our baby.
What I was
going to
say
fuck up UC Gundam, so here you go.
Is the difference is one person wrote a book, and this guy made a webcomic.
So when I said talented, the only thing he's pretty good at is he can draw really similar to how Toriyama did.
But he can't
That's
design.
it.
He can't design.
He can't do anything else Toriyama was good at, which the biggest one, and I've said it forever, is the paneling. He can't panel.
Yes.
Toriyama was so good at that. It's one of the charms of Dragon Ball is that when you look at the page, your eyes know exactly where to go, how the page flows. That is paneling. Toriyama was really fucking good at that. Toyotaro is fucking shit at it. He can't panel for dick. And it shows.
Yeah, because you can go from if you read the Dragon Ball manga and watch the anime, it's basically shot for shot because the implied action of the paneling told you the animation. You didn't need to put in any extra. Whereas Super comes around and they're like, we can't. That's not relevant. The only relevant bits are going to be eventually these characters are going to meet.
Yeah, and Toriyama was so good at paneling. He even he did a meta thing one time where he made the panel itself part of the joke, which was that in Dragon Ball, original run Dragon Ball, when Goku is fighting Yamcha, Goku hits Yamcha so hard into the top of the panel it breaks.
That's good.
Which is it's a funny gag,
That's
and
excellent.
it also tells you how strong Goku is. He broke the panel of the page.
Deadpool wasn't even a glimmer in Liefeld's eye at this point, by the way. This was cutting edge stuff.
Yeah, and so boom, 2 birds, 1 stone. Goku strong, funny bit.
That's excellent. Yeah, what a legend. R.I.P. The world is poorer for your loss.
Yeah, seriously.
You remember
Seriously.
how Yamcha used to just be a who lived in the desert?
Ooh. Yeah, that was his original character motivation. I'm going to get that girl.
Yeah.
Yikes.
He had a cat, an RV, and a sword, and was like, this is all I need. To the desert. I'm going to dress in bright green and red and do karate against any little kids that I come across.
What a scoundrel.
Yeah.
Well, Oolong's even worse. He roofied. He tried.
Oolong
to
is
roofie
worse, but Oolong's also not a man. Oolong is like a pig demon.
So
He's a shapeshifter of some sort, and there's never been a shapeshifter who everyone agrees was a good guy.
So there's... see, this is the weird part about Dragon Ball, where it's just like... what's official, what's not. Toriyama changed his mind all the time. As talented as he was, he was not good at consistency.
He certainly wasn't married to anything close to canonicity,
Yeah, but at one point, according to the Tao of Dragon Ball, was that there was 3 kinds of humans. You got your regular humans, you got your animal people, and then you got your monster people. That's what, like Emperor Pilaf, that's what he was. He was a monster man.
Right. The Garlic Juniors and Pilafs and...
So technically...
There was a great meme I saw with from the new Dragon Ball game where people weren't calling Garlic Jr., they were calling him Atlanta Piccolo.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That was an ethnicity, just monster people.
Yeah, and that's why, like, the king of the world is a dog man.
I mean...
Which the king is an elected position, by the way.
That's very Star Wars of them.
Dude, I might...
It doesn't need to make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, also, importantly, think about where Dragon Ball takes place relative to the world of Dragon Ball. Like, it takes place largely in the equivalent of China. Not the equivalent of Japan. They have an equivalent of Japan. They go there sometimes. But that's not where like most of Dragon Ball takes place. It takes place in their equivalent of China. That's why they have the big round mountaintops and stuff.
Which he's saying the equivalent of, because Dragon World is not the same Earth.
Correct.
As our Earth. Which is why all the land masses and everything are different.
It also has what I think is one of the funniest choices that you can make for an afterlife, which is that their afterlife exists. It exists in their universe as a location you could, like...
Go to.
If you had infinite, like, time, you could drive a car to there. Like, you just would get it. You would get there eventually. Because it's a physical location.
I love how it being a physical location, but it's far away, was like a plot relevant point in the first Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
It's like, one of the first things that happens is Goku dies. And they're trying to beat up these Saiyans. Oh, more Gokus have showed up. Oh no, we need help. And he has to run his ass from heaven.
Yeah.
Across the Dragon Road. And what a fucking bit, dude.
Also, he goes a lot faster coming back because he's now learned how to fly. So
Yeah.
He just flies over.
By the way, one of the things that's fantastic about Dragon Ball is that they don't tell you when everybody, like, actually figures everything out. Like, in modern shonen and stuff, if somebody has a technique, it's very important that they have that technique. Like, when somebody pulls it, I don't know, like, Gon from Hunter x Hunter uses his Nen ability, you think that's because that's the ability that he has. In Dragon Ball, they made up new attacks essentially on the fly and abilities just you figure them out immediately or you don't. Like,
It's actually one of the earliest bits, too, is that Master Roshi uses...
Kamehameha.
Yeah, to blow up the mountain.
And then
Goku's like, can you teach me how to do that? And he's like, oh, it would take... And he just... Yeah, he does like a little one.
He says
like,
it would take 50 years, and Goku's like, well, hold on, I saw what you did. Let me just... And then he just burns a hole through a wall real fast with a little tiny Kamehameha. And Roshi's like, huh, I guess I'm a piece of shit.
Get fucked.
But, like... Tien could just fly. He was the first person to fly. Tien and Chaozu could fly.
So that was... that used to be a huge deal.
Because it was the Crane School.
That was, the Crane School's big thing is they knew how to fly.
Yeah. And then Piccolo shows up later, and he can just fly, and you're like, oh, that... Because he's like on the same... he's higher even than Tien and all that was from the previous thing.
He's a demon king.
And Goku is just flying around on his cloud. Not for a moment is it discussed that, like, when does everyone else learn how to fly? Well, Goku learns how to fly, and everyone else just does now. They needed to fly there. They needed to get there quickly. We're not going to animate Bulma fucking making 10 trips in her sky van. Everyone can fly now. Krillin can fly. Yamcha can fly. Well, I guess the first person to fly was... What's Yamcha's cat? Puar.
The blue one?
Yeah.
I like
that thing was just flying. Also, I guess that would be an animal person. Because he talked.
Puar's weird. I don't know. From the same village as Oolong? Because they went to transformation school together, but Oolong dropped out. That's why he can only transform for 5 minutes. Puar can do it just indefinitely,
Transformation school.
Yeah, that's just a thing that's out there.
What a fucking zany ass universe. Isn't Puar the cat growing the sensu beans?
No, that's Korin.
No,
I'm thinking, okay, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Korin is the cat that has a lesser version of Kami's staff.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I imagine Korin was supposed to be top of the food chain, and then he was like, what if Goku needs something stronger than whatever... I think he gave him Mystic Water was the thing.
Yeah, it's the... Basically, just Mystic Water, whatever, but it's like a poison.
Classic going up to meet God and get stronger.
Yeah.
He just poisons you.
But I can't remember if that's an anime-only thing that it's poison. Because they make this whole song and dance hullabaloo about how he's got to go get it. But in the manga, Korin just gives it to him.
Classic.
Like, just immediately just hands it to him. It's like, here you go. And then
we don't need weeks of filler in the manga. Here you go.
And it instantly just gives you a power boost. Like... And then he went and he just beat the shit out of King Piccolo because he's like, I'm stronger than you now. I drank the magic stuff.
Dragon Ball takes up an inordinate amount of my brain currently because of Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I might reread Dragon Ball.
Oh, man. That'd be good.
Start from the beginning. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to listen to our thing so that I can pick out... By the way, we're doing shorts and shorter videos now, so if you enjoy any of this, keep an eye out for our shorter videos where we just cut out a lot of our nonsense where I completely ADHD away into a screaming match about why Majin Buu is a piece of shit.
Like he just did just this second.
Exactly.
And
we're cutting all this out.
And if you have any ideas for a bit that you'd like to see animated, go ahead and tweet that to @thesmuggrape, and I'll definitely give it a consideration.
The CEO of Blue Sky has now officially gone on record saying that they're called skeets on Blue Sky.
They're called skeets?
Yeah.
So go ahead and skeet that to @thesmuggrape because I want Twitter to die.
Me too.
Blue Sky is already at 12 million users.
Oh yeah, it's number one in the App Store. Twitter dropped out of the top 25.
Dude, yeah.
People are abandoning shit.
Because Musk turned it into a right-wing nutjob fucking factory fest. Like, if you look at the data and, like, what tweets are being made... I'm not going to get into it. Don't want to get into it.
That's not what we talk about on here. We talk about why is Puar a cat?
Yes.
Which, I was always... In my head, if I was, like, allowed to reimagine Dragon Ball, that's one of the abilities Goku should have. Because that's...
Transformation?
Yeah, it's a Sun Wukong thing.
Yeah.
And so, like... They went to school. They learned how to do that. Oolong's a fat pig man piece of shit. He can train. He can do it.
I mean,
even for a little bit.
It must be something you can learn because, like, Tien fully grows arms at one point.
Well, that's just a technique that is unexplained on how that works.
So is shapeshifting. Shapeshifting is apparently just a technique.
Pretty good karate.
So seeing transformation in my head, Goku would immediately just be like, how'd you do that? Teach me how to do that.
Yeah.
And then, because...
But deep in his Saiyan heart, he had pride, and he knew that the most superior fighting form was simply being a Saiyan.
Yeah. Well, I just think it'd be really interesting. It would give Goku a lot of options. And then, also importantly, the transformation... Like, it's why Oolong wasn't really a threat. Like, he would transform into, like, giant robots and shit, or, like, whatever.
Turned into a missile once.
But, yeah, and then, but importantly, the substance that those transformations is made out of isn't any stronger. It's only as strong as you are. So, Goku being Goku...
Yeah,
like...
strong as shit.
Yeah, if he turned his arm into a sword or something, yeah, it's probably going to be able to cut you up into little fucking pieces.
Yeah. I mean, he fucking finger blasted Trunks' sword.
Yeah.
Which I think is... Is it supposed to be Tapion's sword? Like from the movie?
So, like, they did that in the movie, but then the movies aren't canon. Movies are not canon until Battle of Gods. Then they start being canon.
That's... What an insane choice to make. Where, like... Only sometimes are they canon, and that's not in the text at all. There's no, like, disclaimer at the start of the movie. There's nothing in the series that says, don't count those. They just, sometimes they don't count.
Nope, just so, like, every single movie, not canon until Battle of Gods. They're their own contained little things.
God,
because they would release them all the fucking time, and then it's like, if you can't chart them on a consistent timeline. It just wouldn't add up.
Right. Garlic Jr. I remember, like, specifically the Garlic Jr. saga, like, they put it at one point, and I'm like, well, then why the hell's Marin there? She shouldn't be here. That's not even the same character.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. Like, they don't make any sense. They're fun, but they're their own little things. Like, until you get to Beerus... Now they actually are canon.
But what about Broly? His power is maximum.
His power was maximum.
New Broly is so much better anyway. Like,
I haven't seen it. I'm ignorant.
I think his design is considerably worse, but his characterization is good.
I think it's better. I think it's cooler. Like, he's got his, like, green pelt thing, which is, like, they gave him... It actually has a personality now.
Yeah, their characterization of him was great compared to old Broly, who was just movie villain. That was his entire character.
Yeah, and then, like, his... Like, it's basically the same thing where his dad controls him with the thing.
Yeah.
And then he's a piece of shit. Which is great bit, too, for... that's how Frieza gets Broly to freak out, is, like, he just shoots his dad real quick in the heart, and he's just like, oh, Broly, look, they've killed your father.
It seems in your rage you killed her.
Yeah, then Broly freaks the fuck out. And starts going through crazy, like, transformations and shit.
Oh, man.
It's much better. It's much better than the original one who just screamed Kakarot.
Kakarot! Yeah.
I think that the old Broly's design was simply superior. Just everything about it seems more iconic than... New Broly seems very much like they were told to modernize the design. And in modernizing it, it lost a lot of... Like, the choices of color contrast that he had like red and white and gold and green, and they were all like very vivid, and they made him just seem more and more imposing, whereas now his color is more like black and green and white, and that just seems more like just some guy than like a character we're supposed to be taking very seriously. And like the visual language of him just makes him seem less to me.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
That's purely a design critique. That has nothing to do with the quality of the character or anything. And also, I'm a great big baby, and my favorite color is red.
Yeah, that'll do it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it here. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this content, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe at Fanfare on YouTube. You can also check out our RSS feed at Scryer's Room. And, yeah, with that, have a great night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.